Look at that. We're here. We're live. Where are you? Are you watching us? I hope you're watching us. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Broadcasting to Your Community. And I am your host, David Burrows. And this is a younger version of Stephen Healy without the accent joining me. Please welcome Dale Maxwell as my special guest co-host here today. Dale, thanks for stopping in and helping me out.
No worries, man. I'm humbled that you have me on here, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Stephen was he was running a marathon or something, and I think it's bank holiday over there, and he's just too busy for me today. So that's all good. He deserves to stay off. He's covering for me next week, so we can make up for it. So I was like, well, who could I have on? And you just popped into my head. I'm like, well, he'll be fun.
That's all right. As you can tell, I am not a marathoner.
Yeah. Me too. You're down in the United States. You're in Boise,
Ohio. I'm originally from Boise. No, I'm down in Dayton, Ohio now.
Okay, I was sort of paying attention.
Well, I appreciate.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Dayton, Ohio, the Hamfest. That's right. It's coming back to me now.
Yep.
And happy Memorial Day weekend to you, then, I guess.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. So, were you out partying last night? Were you up late?
No. I was. I Uber on the weekend, so I was up late, but driving people in circles. So all of those who do the partying, I get them home safely.
You were looking after. Well, that's good. Somebody has to do that job, right?
Yeah,
that's good. So for those of you joining, let's see. Wow, we got lots of people joining already. Let's say hello to our friend Carender's out there. Hello, Carender. And Andy is out there. Hey, Andy, thank you. I'm in a plane in Phoenix. So you're obviously, are you flying in the plane right now? Are you currently flying?
That would be trippy.
Wow. So we have like our first viewer that's like a bazillion feet up in the air above us.
Hey, David, you have gotten to new heights.
Oh, wow. I hit the high mile club, but in a different way.
Remotely.
Wow. For those of you who don't know Dale, see, there's a reason why I brought him on. He is Kickassery is the name of his page, and warning, Kickassery head. And he does a show called Kickassery. I got to tell you, I'm kind of jealous. If I could steal that from you, I would, because that's such a great name.
Thanks,
and you
man.
got the warning Kick. So before we get into the show, go ahead and kind of tell everybody how Kickassery came about for you.
So Kickassery was originally supposed to be something for something else. And because one of the other things that I do is body language training and blah, blah, blah. Okay. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll start a live stream thing to build an audience for that. And I'll go out and talk to my buddies that I've trained in the past. And I'll get them on and we'll talk about that. And it really went this way. And it turned into Kickassery, which I wasn't sure what it was going to be, and basically it turned into me talking to influencers in my life, and I'm like, you know what, this is way cool. So November 20th was my first broadcast, and I've now had, I think you were my 31st guest.
Oh wow,
individual guest on there, and I've done over almost 70 shows now. So
yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations and welcome to the live streaming world. I know.
Thank you.
And I guess this is kind of one of the things we can talk about here today is, how you and I came to meet. But before we do that, we're broadcasting live in a lot of different places now, thanks to Facebook, because of the new live cross-posting feature. Yeah. We're on the BeLive and 5 live video hub. We're in the United Kingdom, we're in Australia, we're in the United States, we're all over, and we're sharing back as well. So those who are cross-posting us today, thank you so much. And if you've got a show that you want shared, we're on the Video Show Network here today, which is a network I created several years ago. If you've got a live show that you want shared, send me a message, David Burrows, on Facebook, and we'll get you set up for that. So, oh, hey, pardon me. There's Miss RJ Redden.
What's up?
We're everywhere. We're everywhere. You know, it's funny. RJ's out there because, well, it's not funny. She's funny, but funny, haha. I love RJ. I love watching her. And she's going to jump on now because she won't be able to sit there and contain herself while I'm talking about her and she can't talk back. So, hint, hint.
So just put her in the lobby and don't bring her back on. So then that way you just like tease her.
Well, I do that to Robert. When he comes around, when Robert pops in, I make him sit there for like 5 minutes. Sometimes he comes in, sometimes he just leaves. But that's awesome. RJ Redden, a chatbot expert, black belt in chatbots. And I just got back to using my chatbot not too long ago because I'm like, this is a tool that I'm not using enough that I should be. And I'm starting to build a little bit, and then I get sporadic with it. And I do need I've got some ideas in my head that I want to use it for, but I'm the kind of guy, I have a hard time taking it from here and putting it down on paper. So if you need help with chatbots, RJ is definitely the one. If you want to be a guest here on the show today, you got to come over to the Video Show Network page and watch from there. You'll see the link in the comments wherever you're watching from. And we'd love to have you join us. And we really like it when you click the share button. Share, and share your comments. You know, like we mention that. We say you should ask people to share. If you like the show, please share. That's all there is to it, right? And if you want to be a guest on the show, type guest in the comments below, and our chatbot will send you a link. Carinder, start doing a new gaming. Oh, yeah. Yes, Carinder's talking about my son and I do a live stream every Thursday, and from the local college here. So we're heavily involved in the esports world as well. Our college is the first in Ontario to offer a gaming or esports entrepreneurship program.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so there's more coming with that too. But so you've just recently joined. How did you discover BeLive?
So BeLive. Good question. How did I find BeLive? I was just watching a lot of random people, and I was seeing how people were managing how it was working out. And I just went out and I was looking around, kind of trolling a little bit, and I found what people were using, and I jumped on it. I'm like, holy smokes, this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Maybe Jennifer Quinn, Jenny Q might have pointed me in this direction as well.
Okay.
But that's mostly, it was just, I was watching, Stephen Healy and a few others. And I was like, wow, that's really cool how they're managing all this stuff and being able to do it. And that's how I did it. But I'm not necessarily new to live streaming. I'm just new to this format of live streaming. Right. I've been doing I'll call it a vlog on Facebook Live since Facebook Live really came about. So probably 4 years now. I've been doing a daily show or a weekday show. Right. So I've probably got 900 of those episodes in over the years.
Nice. Wonderful.
So,
well, it's an interesting world for sure, and it's certainly grown. I mean, I remember when I discovered BeLive, which is probably a couple of years ago now, or maybe a year. I don't know. I'll say a year. I'd been doing live streaming for about 10 years now.
Okay.
Back before people didn't even know how to say live streaming as one word yet. And I was interviewing, when I started my show, I was interviewing big musical acts. Pardon me, I'm suffering today. Big musical acts, big names, that sort of stuff. And I mean, from all over the world, right? In different corners of the planet. So I was using Skype, and I had a third-party thing that it was, but you really had to have some technical
chops.
Yeah, it was a learning curve. It was more of a learning roundabout rather than a curve.
The bell curve was pretty steep.
You ever seen the movie Vacation with Chevy Chase? You know, and they go to see Big Ben. And they go to the roundabout, and they're like, "There's Big Ben. Yeah, there's Big Ben.
There it is again."
Yeah, that was kind of me in the beginning. It just kept going in the same spot.
Yeah.
And then, we can go over anyway. So BeLive definitely. I always had that kind of thing in my head as to how I would like it to be, and then BeLive came along, and then so speak loudly enough of someone, and they will show up.
There you go.
In your lobby. RJ Redden is here. We're going to bring her on to join us here as well. There's
Greetings.
RJ. Hello. How are you?
I am so good. You guys are awesome, and I just needed to come and say so to everybody. If you didn't know these two right here, gotta watch, must watch.
Aww.
Yeah.
And okay, now we can click on e-transfer.
Yes.
RJ, how you doing? You're busy. I know you're always awesome, but happy Memorial Day weekend to you as well.
Happy Memorial Day. I have been flat on my back all weekend long. Not well. Sinus infection. I'm starting to get over it today. I've been watching Bob Ross on Twitch all weekend. So I'm in a really calm mood, everybody.
Are you painting?
No, I would love to be painting this weekend. In fact, that was my plan, but no, I need to I need to get ahead of the week here. So I'm doing that for a few hours, and then maybe I'll paint later.
Are you making the wispy clouds in your dreams now?
Happy clouds.
We're going to paint today. Just a little bit of paint. Just a paint. Is that the right imitation?
We're going to do a fantastic day painting today, everybody. And I just want to let you know you can do this too. You can just follow along. The colors are going to scroll across the screen right now.
That's just it. We miss Bob Ross, though, don't we? I mean,
deeply.
I wonder what he would look like or be doing if he were still around today.
I think he'd be doing the exact same thing, but just like, the technology would be better for sure, and he'd be in a whole lot more places. But I think he'd be going strong doing the same thing.
He would be live on Twitch.
And I must say this, Twitch is, if you don't know, and David knows because he's there all the time, Twitch it's a gaming platform, a lot of younger people, a lot of, a little older people as well, but a lot of young people. So a lot of people, a lot of people are joining the stream that were born after Bob died. And so they think that Bob is live streaming right now. They really do. Wow. They're like, why doesn't he look at the chat more often? So half of the chat is like just uninitiated, and the other half of the chat is completely trolling with them. It's so fun. I love Twitch so much.
That's too funny. Well,
I didn't know Bob Ross was doing a Twitch thing on there, so I'll have to check that out. But that's funny. We have a local artist here in Sarnia. Actually, she's going to be on my show in a few weeks. Kat Kabahar, or AKA the Painted Cat, is what she goes by, and she's an amazing, awesome artist. And she has a little Bob Ross doll, like a bobble. No, it's not a bobblehead, but a miniature doll. Takes him everywhere with her. So huge Bob Ross fan. How can you not like Bob Ross? Like, I know Bob.
He's beautiful, man. He's beautiful. And I don't interrupt what's going on here. There's some kickassery going on. Somebody's wearing a t-shirt. I don't want to interrupt with all my Bob Ross musings, but I just wanted to tell you guys, hi. I love what you both are doing. And it's a whole lot of fun listening to you in the other screen.
Well, it's fantastic that you join us here today, and I really enjoy. I don't get to catch your show as often as live as often as I do, but I do check out the replays. I actually have a reminder programmed into my phone that says "Go watch RJ." And
I got your bot this morning. Great. I got your message.
Oh, you did? Okay. That's the first time I've done that, so that's good to know that it worked.
I got it as well.
Okay. All right. I just set that up last night because I'm like, I have like 42 or 44 subscribers now. And it's only, I haven't really, what's interesting about that though, RJ, is I have that many or that little, whatever, but it's a start without really trying hard. I have that many without really doing anything.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine if I were to put some strong effort into it, how quickly and really almost effortlessly you can really build a huge subscription base. It's not like sign up for my email thing. It seems very accepted by people.
Yeah. It is. And if you're building community and stuff like that, a bot is so nice because people don't have to ask questions in public, and you as a broadcaster can finally talk to all those people who are super shy or super busy. And imagine what that could do for your world. I want to invite you, David Burrows, because I want you on my calendar. You can ask me anything about bots. I'll give you an hour. You can ask me anything. And I will give you ideas. You would be great with this because you're very personal. You're very, you're conversation oriented. You're not one of those people who are going to go out and try to hit everybody over the head. So I think you'd do great with them. So I'm going to give you my calendar link and maybe I'll see you on there.
Yeah, send me the link. I'll take you up. That's a valuable offer. I'll definitely take advantage of that for sure. Thank you.
Do it. It's well worth it.
Okay. All right. Well, and we're going to. I do my other live show later today at 3:30, and one of the things I've been adding in there. So I normally have 3 local guests, and then I think what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to have 2 local guests. Pre-recorded interview when I first come on, and then an international guest, because I believe live streaming can change the world used properly. Mm-hmm. And as much as I've been a community guy in my town for years, I believe that this is an opportunity for us to connect other communities together, small or large, whatever that looks like. Because I know now as a live streamer, I have friends down in Dayton, Ohio, and I have friends throughout the United States. I have friends in the United Kingdom. I know if I ever go to Wiltshire, I can stay at Stephen's home. I can go to Australia, and I can probably stay. So, I mean, it's a really powerful tool because we're one big planet. We're one big city now. We're not even a planet anymore.
Yeah.
And I just think the power, like learning from each other and learning to not agree with each other, but learning how to not agree with each other. That's okay. Like, I mean, my wife has a favorite color and it's not the same as mine. But we're married happily. So, I mean, you have to learn how to that sort. And I just think live streaming is a powerful tool for bringing our city together as one, and learning. And I come up with a lot of quotes that I'll post on my Facebook page, or not even my page, my personal timeline. The one I put out, and I've been accused of saying many times in my community, and I'm okay with it, is I challenge everybody to seek out the greatness in each other, including the ones you don't like, because it's there.
Didn't someone ask you if you're running for mayor after one of those?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, and I sort of laugh because it's a compliment, right? I take it as a compliment, which is nice. But on the realistic side of things, I also say, but like, if you were to vote for me, you shouldn't vote for me because I don't qualify. I don't qualify for mayor. Just because I'm a busy community guy doesn't mean that I qualify for being mayor. There's a lot more to it than that. But I'll take it as a compliment. I don't think I'd want the job, honestly. I'm pretty involved here with all my locals that are involved. We got a municipal election coming up in October, so that's why it was mentioned. But anyway, RJ, that's fantastic. And RJ, I was getting to my long-winded answer of why I'm going to have international guests. I've got to make sure I have you as a guest on at some point too. So I'll send you my Calendly link. Isn't Calendly awesome?
It is.
I love Calendly, but I use something different because of this one of the functions that I need. But yeah, it saves me so much time.
Oh,
so much time.
Yeah, it's a great tool. And if you have 10 email addresses, it's even better.
I know what you mean, man.
Thank you, Gmail.
Well, I will let you get back to Dale, but I just had to pop on and invite you because it's going to be a beautiful thing for you.
Well, I'm so glad that you did. We appreciate you popping in here, RJ, and hope you're feeling better too.
Yeah.
All right, take care.
Coffee.
RJ, rock it out.
All right, RJ Redden's fantastic that she was joining us here, and the fact that she's super busy, but obviously she's been laid up a little bit. So, Dale, are you using chat bots at all?
I am. So another huge shout out to RJ, because I had this project I had this project in mind for another something else, and I'm like, RJ, this makes sense. Could we do this with chat bots? And she sat there and she did her thinking face for a second. She's like, yeah, it would work, but you don't want to do that. I'm like, okay, what should I do? And so she laid out this whole thing for me, and she's like, this is really what you should do, because it would work better for Kickassery. And basically what it is, I've been doing it, and it's been freaking-pendous, is it's a influencer scavenger hunt, because Kickassery is all about influencers. So what it is, it's a 5-day video challenge where I did a bunch of videos, and she kind of helped me manage it all and figure it all out. And it's basically, it's me learning what your influencers in your life are. And one of the things that I do on Fridays is I do my week in review, and I read some of those letters, which are wow. So yes, RJ has helped me. I do that. And then I have another project I do called Throwback Flicks. It's a movie thing. And so I do an ongoing movie trivia bot. That's a lot of fun. That one's been pretty incredible.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I guess we think about bots and we tend to think, okay, so how can I put out my stuff to an audience so I can sell stuff and But you can really just have fun with it too. Yeah. Like the trivia thing. That's so cool.
Yeah. And I know you're a trivia guy, you're a karaoke guy and a music guy and, all that. So that, but yeah, the movie trivia thing has just been, and it's just an ongoing thing that people just keep going. And it's been a lot of fun.
Nice. Well, I'm grateful that RJ's offered me an hour of her time. That's certainly valuable for sure.
Take it.
If you're watching, thanks for tuning in right now. And if you're wondering where Stephen Healy is, we fired him, but just for today. And this my new friend Dale Maxwell from Kickassery joining me as a co-host today. There's a lot of holidays happening around the world. That's why Stephen's off and busy, and Memorial Day in the United States. But our friend Dale Maxwell found some time to join me here. Cross-posting, I know it's been talked about a lot, but are you taking advantage of the live cross-posting with multiple places, or just a couple?
Okay, so I have to, on my end, I have to admit my ignorance a little bit. Now, you've been very gracious and allow me to cross-post for you, and of course the video hub that Stephen put together. And I want to grow that. And as I'm watching it grow, and I sat down with Stephen a while back, and he discussed their and your, vision of what this is going to turn into, like its own little network kind of a deal where you can bring all of these BeLive shows together. I love it. I just need to learn the back end of it to maybe create my own little hub of sorts. Like I said, I'm very ignorant, so I've got that learning curve I got to figure out. But yeah, I'm trying to take advantage of it as much as I can with as little as I know about it. But so far, I love it. It's great.
Well, it's fantastic because you can add in new audiences that you didn't have access to before.
Absolutely.
without having to give out any admin access or anything like that, right? So,
Yeah.
if you need help with the back end, well, I can help you with that. It's really not that hard. But,
Okay.
It is if you don't know how, right?
Right.
But
I don't even know where to start. That's the thing.
Yeah. No, we can log in and do something, get that going. Andy gave us a 10. That means he's paying attention. Owen, from Owen's video, who also hosts on BeLive, he always says, give us a 5 down in the comments below. I don't want 5s. I want 10s. If you're enjoying the show, type 10 down in the comments below. Let us know you're enjoying it. And we've got room for more to join us. Andy, if you want to join us, if you're able to, I know he's at an airport. We'd love to have you join us. Can send you the link or type guest in the comments below. And if you got to jump out right away, that's okay. And anybody else who's watching, if you got some questions about live streaming or anything to do with the world of live streaming, you're welcome to join us here. Myself, I'm David Burrows, your host, and my guest host today, Dale Maxwell from Kickassery.
So can I ask you a
ahead.
question? Let's go back to the hub thing for just a second. So
yeah, absolutely.
One of the things that I asked the other day, I don't know if it was live here, if I was commenting to whomever, but on the hub. Okay, so for all of you guys that are, at my level of understanding how all this works, is okay. So you and I are on here right now, but it's also, I'm going to use the word simulcast, probably the wrong term, but simulcasting on other video, other Facebook pages, business pages, all at the same time. So we're proliferating. What's up, Michelle? She's one of the big Kickassery supporters. Thanks for being here. That's Michelle with 2 L's, by the way.
Oh, okay.
And so
maybe she'll join us.
What I was asking is, okay, so when people are making comments on like the Video Hub or other where you're doing that simulcasting, are we getting that ding, that indication that we're getting it? Now, from what I understand, we're not. We have to be active in going to where they are commenting, like on the Video Hub or wherever else.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So if someone's commenting on the Video Hub where they're watching our video, we will not see the comments.
Right.
So that's why if you look wherever you're watching from, folks, if you look in the comments or in the description of today's show, there's a link in there that takes you directly to the original broadcast. So where it's originally being broadcast from, which is on the Video Show Network. And if you type comments there, then yes, we will see. And it would be nice if you could go live anywhere and wherever they typed, you saw them. And I'm sure that's a capable thing for Facebook to do. It's just they've chosen not to for whatever reason. I don't know what the reason would be, but you have to be like all these comments that we're seeing so far. They're watching on the Video Show Network. Unless something's changed, and I don't know. But if you are watching on the Video Show Network page, please type in yes in the comments, and then we'll know for sure.
Okay.
Let us know. Yeah.
Well, it's just one more piece for us as broadcasters to keep track of, which I don't have a problem with because, like you said, we have audiences now that we wouldn't normally have access to. And if I have to have another 1 or 2 pieces to manage it, that's fine because
that's awesome. I'm okay with it just being in one place to get the comments because, when you're here today on my side of things, I'm the producer, director, all that stuff, as you talked about on one of your shows not too long ago. And I don't have time to go look at all the other, like we're live on about 15 different pages right now, right? So I don't have time for that. And speak of, I knew he was going to show up. Guess who's here?
Hey.
Yeah, he's there. Robert Stern's there. Perhaps he'll join us today. And so everybody here is saying yes. RJ's yes. Andy in Omaha. Oh, there. RJ's talking to Andy. The other thing I like about this about live is there's a couple things that I like about live because I don't know if you saw my previous show, but it was recorded. It was like a 10-minute recorded show. So it was nice and polished and looked great and all that stuff, which is good. But But what I found is you can do 10 minutes of a recorded video and people will watch, but you cannot do a 1 hour recorded show and expect people to watch. But you can do a 1 hour live show and people will watch.
Because of the interaction.
Because of the engagement and the interaction. And, well, last week's show, and I've had a couple of shows recently, and I don't know why it's happening recently, but because all my guests are new to this whole, like when I say, oh, will you do an interview with me, a video, they're like, oh, yeah, sure. Where do we want to meet? And I'm like, no. Haha, I got you. You said yes. You're going to come live from your webcam or your smart device. And they're like, oh. And they get a little, right? But I have a nice Google Doc that I send them, and it's very step-by-step. And if they can't do it, like, they probably shouldn't be on my show. But anyway, but it's a new world, right? So I sort of laugh with the people. I know most of the people personally that I have on, so I sort of tease them and saying, it's okay, you'll be fine. Once you do it once, you'll be a pro. And I'm in the stage right now of training people on hey, this is a new way to be interviewed. I don't have to go anywhere. I can just be, and I still do because my community is small enough, but if they really struggle with it, then I just go to their place and do a pre-recorded interview, and then I just play it, right? But
yeah. Well, and like you and I talked about the other day is when I have folks on, they're all wiggy and they're weird, and they're like, well, what if I say the wrong thing? I'm like, you and I say the wrong thing to each other every day, or whenever we're on the phone, or it happens. You say the wrong thing to the person at the gas station. It's life, and that's all this is it's a conversation, and it's life. That's all this is. This isn't a formal interview. And I'll be honest with you, David, for me, because I've been in the broadcast world, I've been in the television world, I've been in the radio world. Honestly, live is way more comfortable for me because I can just let it roll. And whereas when it's canned, when I'm doing a production, then it needs to be polished, and I need to get my timing right, and I need to do my points right, and blah, blah. Whereas if it's live and I screw up, I'm like, well, that didn't work. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like if you could see, like I know the studio looks whatever, but there's another big room around here, but the camera's normally over here, and I'd be like, hello, everybody, welcome to the show. And then I go, no, I didn't like that dude again. And then, I didn't like that dude. Or you weren't looking at the camera, you were looking at yourself. And then now it's like, screw it, I'm live. Here we go. But what's happened to me the last couple of weeks is a guest didn't show up on time.
Yep.
Or they struggled with. They're like, well, we're trying, but I've downloaded the app. It's not whatever. And I've been live and said, oh, and I get a Facebook message. Oh, Dave, what's the link again? And I'm trying to do my intro and all this stuff. And I just went, well, folks, my first guest is having trouble. Here we go. We're going to try to help him out here. And I just, I just carried on, right? You just go, okay, this wasn't.
I froze on my end.
And we're back, just like magic. There we go. Were you frozen?
You were frozen on my end. So you want to talk about like the best timing in the world
talking
on
about
the subject you were talking about.
That's hilarious. Oh boy, and everybody's and they're all over it. As soon as something goes wrong, they're like, "You're frozen." No, I'm just kidding. It's funny though. And I'm like,
okay, so this is a perfect example. So what's the craziest stop?
not.
So what's the craziest thing, or how many times have you like started and restarted before either you threw up your hands or you figured it out? I've got a funny story on that.
Well, I've always I was trying something different, honestly, besides BeLive, just because I wanted to play recorded video, right, into my broadcasts,
right,
and I wanted to broadcast to Facebook and Twitter and Twitch and blah blah all at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I kind of experimented in how I was using OBS software, and which I'm very fluent with, and then I just decided, well, I'm just going to use those other platforms for different things. Like when we do the lacrosse games, then I'll broadcast everywhere because it's a wider audience. Where I do have a great following on Twitter as well. So I don't know. I just haven't gone. I'm happy with just using BeLive to just go live to Facebook. And I will, like you'll see later today on my show, I use OBS as a third-party camera so that I can play those videos. I did last week, played a recorded video. But in the beginning stages of that, I had a different computer that wasn't quite powerful enough to handle what I wanted to do. I just went out and spent $1,000 on a computer months ago. So now everything's so I had people come on and they were freezing up, and I was using a peer.in to have them join there, and I was da-da-da-da. And then I even got to the point where, like, okay, this is just even too much, even for a tech-savvy guy like me. So I'm just going to get frustrated. So let's just go back to square one. But, yeah, I've had people freeze up, and don't really have a crazy story, but I just I think back to when I did take piano lessons, the piano teacher said, when you make a mistake and you hit a wrong note, you just keep going.
Keep rolling. Yep.
That's all you can do, right? So what's your crazy story?
So I had an old-time friend of mine who we tested. It seemed like everything was good. Showed up the morning of, 20 minutes prior, BeLive on the back end, just goofed up. So I had to cancel and recreate a new broadcast. So everyone knows when you do a pre-record or a scheduled broadcast with BeLive, once that's scheduled, you can't make changes to it, really.
That's right, yeah.
The timing, the blah, 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 it's done. So something goofed up, and I'm like, crap. Okay, so I deleted it, started a brand new one, pushed it out to everybody. Hey, screwed up, blah, blah. That one, we tried to test it, didn't work. Now it's showtime, and I'm on my fourth redo of it because for some reason at that time, it's software. I mean, and BeLive's not that old, so they're going through growing pains. Okay, no big deal. I'm not pissed. So then we're 10 minutes after broadcast start, and we finally figured it out that it was her phone and her laptop. The program just was not liking, period. It was just like, screw you, I'm not doing this. And we're like, fine. So she called me on my cell phone. I put it on speakerphone. I set it right here. And so the whole live broadcast, all you saw was me talking, and you could hear her through the phone.
Right, right.
We did it. It worked. It was a little awkward for me because, you're just looking at me nodding my head at a phone. But it worked, and we got through the broadcast, and it was great. But it was one of those, don't say die. We're going to make this work.
Actually, now that you mention it, I used to do a different show. I was going to keep my recorded show, and I was going to do a separate live show, and I called it Live with David. And I created a new brand. I still have the page out there, but I just don't use it anyway. And I did an interview with a guy, now that I think about fluoride in the water.
Okay.
And we did a test earlier in the day, and everything worked great. I had my headphones plugged in here, and everything was good. And then we came back later to try it, and it was like I couldn't hear him. He could hear me loud and clear, whatever. So yeah, we did it. We did the phone thing. I held it right here, and everybody else was like, "Sounds great. Both sides sounds great." As it came out, I have my headphones plugged into an extension here,
and it was
just. I'm doing it right now. It's just, there you go. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Yep,
I can't hear you.
Oh, there you go.
Did you plug it in? And we did the whole show. It was an hour. It was an hour with one guy.
Yep.
And after it was all done, I looked down and I was like, well, the words were, are you kidding me? Plus another word. But, you know, it was, but it's just an experience, right? You know, yeah. I see our friend Kevin Jack is out there. His company, We Stream, which my son and I work with. We have a nice collaboration going on. They use Switcher Studio they do a lot of live event broadcasts. So he is going to be joining us, I can tell.
Woohoo! But you know, it's funny. It's funny you talk about like the cables and stuff. You know, I've been in the concert industry for a very long time as well, and it's incredible. Just one cable plugged in incorrectly or in the wrong, just one slot over or whatever. It's just a trickle down effect. And
absolutely,
it's incredible when you have 50, 60 inputs, video, lighting, audio, everything else, and something just doesn't talk to each other right. You're like,
yeah, it's that one. Cables are always the first thing I check. The thing I've learned about it too is like there's a lot of you have to learn how to read meters.
Yes,
because you can't always hear what's being put out. So you have to be able to look at a meter and go, oh, that's an audio hum. Or that's an electrical hum or stuff like that. And my friend Kevin Jack is in the lobby here. You haven't met him yet, I don't think.
I don't know. Let's find out.
All right, we're going to bring him in here. He's got his We Stream hat on again.
I'm all decked out. Put on the shirt today for you guys, too.
Oh, wow. I got to get a collared one. I don't have a collared one yet.
We'll work it up to it.
Yeah, I got to earn my stripes.
And Dale and I have been on this show together in the past. This was the first time you were on, Dale, and you were telling us all about Kickassery. And David, I noticed you were on Kickassery, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. That's right. I do remember you guys coming on for that. Yeah, Dale had me on his show there, I don't know, earlier this week, or last week, I should say.
Last week, yeah.
And it's always weird for me, right, being the guy that's being interviewed. Because I'm usually on the other side of the coin with that, right? So I have to learn to how do I talk about me?
The best people to interview are interviewers.
Yeah. Well, you come from a radio background too, Kevin. So have you had that experience too, where you're the one being interviewed?
Not so often. No, not so often. And I'm not as comfortable on the other side of the questions as I am asking the questions. I guess maybe it's a control thing. I don't know. But I do find that interviewing other broadcasters, and the definition of broadcasters is becoming a little looser these days. But interviewing broadcasters is always a pleasure, just because they understand time restraints, they understand what's interesting, they generally keep their answers concise, and they also don't stop talking when they understand that you're not ready to interject. You know, if you're interviewing another broadcaster, they never leave you hanging. They'll always just continue to fill and fill and fill.
Because they get that.
Yeah.
I have to admit, though, some broadcasters, and I can say this respectively, when I produce here in town sometimes, I'm the guy that keeps the remote on track, and I have to say, okay, you're a minute over. And a minute doesn't sound like a lot, but it is critical when you are down, you know, there's news is at noon. And it's not at 12:30, it's at noon. And you have to rearrange things and whatever. And there's some are better at it than others, put it that way.
Yeah. It's an incredible skill that I don't think people give enough credit to. The ability to say a lot with few words. Yes. And the people that are really good at it, I mean, I'm blown away sometimes. And generally they're radio DJs, and the guys that can come on and just give me everything that I need to know in about 35, 40 seconds, sound really cool doing it, and set up what's coming up next. And when they do that really well, I'm impressed. And a lot of times people don't know how difficult that is, and they don't give it the respect that it deserves.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that statement. It's definitely a skill to be able to fit it all in that quickly.
It's not one that I've mastered. I was on the talk radio side of things. And one thing that's great about talk radio is you actually get to flesh out your ideas. If you want to talk for 8 or 10 minutes, you can talk for 8 or 10 minutes. When you're on music radio, it's all about brevity.
Yeah, that's right. We did I did a broadcast. I think, Kevin, you probably saw it recently here. It's called Ignite Sarnia, and Ignite is a speaking group, but it's all over. It's in like 300 countries and whatever. It's all over the world. But the thing about Ignite is it's tell us your story in 5 minutes. The speaker only gets 5 minutes, so they get and they have to do it with a PowerPoint presentation. So it's 15-second slides. So however many, I suck at math, but however many 15-second slides is in
20?
a minute. And it's, okay, so
15
seconds and it's an automatic mode. So 15 seconds is over and it automatically goes to the next slide. You can't stop and you get 5 minutes. And the point of it is, the way it was created was so many keynote speakers can go up. Like I can go up, I could talk for an hour on a subject, no problem. But you really only get about 5 minutes out of it. And that was the reason for Ignite beginning. And it's amazing what some of these people, if you go back and watch the broadcast, what they pulled out in 5 minutes, and you got it, and you remembered most of it. Because I remember reading a book somewhere, it said, even a genius will only remember 35% of what you just talked about. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm no genius, so...
Well, you're going to remember a part of the beginning and you're going to remember a part of the end. What happens in the middle usually goes away. Toastmasters is a great organization for that, to get that mind-mouth connection, to formulate what you're going to say before you're going to say it in a concise way. And Kevin, you're absolutely right. When it comes to radio, you have to know you only have this amount of time and you need to say what needs to be said, set it up, close it, done. And that's it, period. And but once you get trained, once you get comfortable doing that, whether you're an MC, a radio DJ, or an event DJ, it's just that process of knowing, okay, concise, get it done, spit it out, move on. But then again, I think a lot of the times when we get long-winded people, they're talking because they're in front of the camera, they're on the mic, and so it's about them at that moment. And it's like, no, it's not. It's about getting the information out there and moving on.
Yeah.
One thing
That's something go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, all right. Well, one thing I'll add to that is I don't think people, like audience, understands, and here we're just having a discussion, but when you're the person on the stage or the person on the radio, people don't really understand how much forethought went into delivering that message or pulling off that night. David, how long have you been backstage and you're kind of pacing in a room, and sometimes you have to tell people, like, listen, I need 15 minutes. Usually you can find it, but sometimes they come in and bother you, and you're like, yeah, I need 15 minutes to I'll just kind of sit there and mumble to myself and kind of work through how the night's going. And then when you're up there, it doesn't always follow that exact formula, but the fact that I went through the process, and the process is a little different for a lot of people, but everybody has one. And if absolutely. They think that the good people just hop up on stage or hop behind a microphone, and I would say the same goes into pulling off a good broadcast. And if you're doing a BeLive show and you think that, okay, I'm live today at noon, so at 11:59 I can sit down and turn everything on, and haven't given much thought to what I'm going to say, the direction of the show, it's really not going to be that engaging. And people are going to be able to tell that there wasn't a lot of forethought that was put into it.
Yeah.
And again,
well, I know when I go to
happens.
When I go to the radio station to, they call it producing, but I'm just the board operator, really. I'm the guy that pushes the buttons. And but if I start at 8 o'clock, I'm there at 7:30 because I just, and there isn't a lot to prepare for as far as, I mean, one thing I learned about radio is a second is a second. It's not 2 seconds and it's not a half a second. No. And some of the personalities will be like 5-2 or 2 minutes too. You're like, and you're going, hello, are you there? Like, I don't know. I can't see you. I don't know if you're set up, whatever. But I mean, they always do show up, but I still would like a little comfort in knowing you're there. But I get there and I just sit in the room. I maybe have my coffee and, I'll check my logs to see, how many spots I got to look at, just to prepare myself. I'm a real wing it kind of guy when it comes to emceeing. Sarnia Sings would be a good example of their, like Dale, you saw that speech that I did. Mm-hmm. That was a 5-minute thing. that was totally unplanned. That was me being asked to, can you introduce me, but I need you to talk about, and I was like, and I didn't want to make it about me because it wasn't about me. So, I was careful in how I selected what I was talking about and how I introduced the next person. And even though it was a 5-minute introduction, there was a message behind it all. But I also knew right here when it got to a point of, okay, Dave, shut up,
wrap it up,
and now do it, right? And a 5 minutes is a long introduction if you're just introducing. And here's Kevin Jack on the piano, right? But it was more than that. So I
don't have that many credentials.
Yeah, there you go. So, but I definitely, like the conversation that I had with the gentleman that asked me to introduce him that way was 5 minutes before the show started. And I'm like, okay. I've also been asked to be an MC of a show. I remember it was about 3 years ago. And I was standing backstage. I was just there as a guest. And they come over and they go, so Dave, could you be the MC? And I'm like, well, okay. When are you on? And the lights went on. They're like, right now. And I went, oh. And away I went. But I don't mind. I've been told this. It's one of my great skills is to be able to go out and do that. And the fact that I knew everybody who was performing and probably knew most of the people in the, I was comfortable with it. Right. Karaoke is probably what gave me the opportunity to learn how to go live because it was all live. Right. So it definitely
microphone. I hate seeing people who routinely the first time they begin talking, the first word is all the time.
Welcome.
Yeah.
You know what else I hate? How you guys doing? How you guys doing? What do you mean, how am I doing? I'm here. I don't know.
Thirsty today, David?
It is. I don't know why.
So, Kevin, are you saying that I shouldn't start preparing at 11:59? Is 11:55 okay?
You know what? Whatever works. People have said before that you never criticize the process.
Yeah. There you go.
And you only critique the result. So whatever works for you. But to kind of just piggyback on what you were talking about, David, I would say the reason you show up half an hour before your shift begins is for that one time where everything's running late and you roll in a minute before your shift begins. That's right. That time you roll in a minute before, all those times you came in half an hour before are going to put you in the proper place to pull it off professionally.
That's right.
And the people that always run in a minute before, when they roll in a minute before and something goes wrong,
they're screwed.
BS hits the fan. and they're looking around saying, well, it's everybody else's fault. And the reality is it's your fault. It's your lack of preparation. And one thing that radio teaches you is you're talking about time. Like a boss once told me, like, if you're on at 8 and you show up at 8 minutes and 1 second, you may as well not even have come in at all.
Yeah,
you're late.
That's right.
Like, you're late. Your show starts at this time and it starts at this time.
And I've always been like that.
Then you may as well not even bother coming in.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It could be, for me, it just creates a mindset and the atmosphere, and yeah, I've done it 100 times. So could I walk in at 5:02? Probably. Yep. But I'm not going to be one of those that goes, well, I don't get paid to be here. So I'm here a half hour early. I walk in, I say hello to the newsroom. I go to the radio down the hall. Hey, how's it going? How's your remote? You all ready for your remote? Just quick conversation. It's just, I don't know.
And then just getting back to what you're talking about emceeing, and those chances where they come up and tell you just as the lights are going up, by the way, David, you're the MC tonight. The reason you can pull that off is because you've done it many times before with the proper amount of preparation.
That's right. Yeah.
But then when all of a sudden your feet are to the fire, you can perform.
Yeah, I agree.
I'd say it works that way for most people. There are the extremely talented people that can just kind of go up all the time and wing it. And I'd say that there's far fewer of those people than the number of people who think they're those people, if that makes sense.
Fonz Chamberlain's out there. That's great information, guys. Fonz Chamberlain is out here. Fonz is the Cambridge historian, lives in Cambridge in the United Kingdom, and he's also featured here on the Video Show Network as well. He wants to know, Kevin, how long you've done radio.
More than 15 years.
There you go.
So probably 16, 17, and still do some fill-in work at the local station, but was full-time talk radio host and talk radio producer for about 13, 14 years here in my hometown.
And you're in Niagara.
Yeah, Niagara. So everybody in the world knows where Niagara Falls is in Canada. I'm on the Canadian side, and a stone's throw from Niagara Falls. And some people don't actually know that there is actually a city of Niagara Falls in Niagara Falls. If people think it's the waterfall and that's it. Like, no, there's a city there.
Have you ever tried? You say a stone's throw. Have you ever tried to throw a stone across?
I don't even know if I could throw a stone across my roof.
Yeah, I hear you.
I was there though when John Daly tried to hit a golf ball across. That was kind of fun.
Oh yeah, right. That was a while ago. How long ago was that?
More than a decade. He was here promoting. He's got a golf course down here in the Niagara.
Right.
Thundering Waters. So just to promote it as a bit of a circus act and a hoax and whatever, it was kind of cool. Like, let's see if I can hit a golf ball across Niagara Falls. And he couldn't, for what it was worth, he couldn't. And the only disappointing part is that it was actually hard to track the ball. Like, you didn't really have an idea of where it went. You know, somebody I think I hit it. I think I saw it hit the wall on the far side.
Right.
I don't really know that there was any way to improve that.
Well, now you just need a DJ Osmo with face follow.
And just follow the ball.
Follow the ball, right?
I still don't know why they have a GPS though. It's like, why don't they GPS golf balls? Why don't they GPS hockey pucks? Like, sorry, Dale, we're a real hockey nation, but what's with this video review to see if a puck crossed the line? Put a darn chip in the thing, and you tell me.
RFID chip on it and sensors in the goal when it's done.
I know. That's how difficult is it? Instead, we're video cameras that are half blocked by the goaltender. Well, maybe we can get the reverse angle and zoom in on that. I'm like, it's galvanized rubber. Whatever you put in there, you can weight it and balance it and make sure that it doesn't affect the way that it slides and glides on the ice. But
Kevin's one of those guys. He's always like, why don't they do this? Why are they doing that stupid thing? Don't you know there's a better way? I love it because he's got some fantastic ideas that come out of it. But I on that note, I will say, and sports fans are probably going to disagree with me. I say get rid of the camera reviews, period. We have referees and whatever out there. Their job is to make a call. And is there going to be human error? Absolutely there will, because we're human. Make the call. Everybody lives with a bad call once in a while, and play the game. Screw the reviews.
Yeah, but we as the audience can't get as involved, and thus it comes to audience participation and viewership. I don't know. That's my response. I'm not saying you're wrong. That's just.
It's okay if I am wrong. There, Robert Stern's got an idea for a Kevin Jack show. The Why Show.
Why? Why is this like this? This is ridiculous.
Why are these people that stupid?
Why are doors so loud when you close them? I'm working on making the soft closing door.
Soft closing door.
I've got 2 young children, 4 and 2. So how many times I've sat there and played the stupid game of turning the handle and slowly closing the door so that I don't make a peep for fear that I wake them up. I'm like, why in my kitchen, I've got soft closing cabinets. I got soft closing doors, but they can't make a quiet door. It doesn't. So
see, I always found too, when I was younger and trying to sneak out of the house, and even my dad said to me, he said, when you're coming in late, you try to come in and put the key in real slow. He said, don't do that. He says, just come in regularly and nobody will notice because it's a regular sound in the house. So I tried that and it didn't work.
That didn't work either.
He caught me sneaking in late. Star Trek doors. Robert's got a great idea. There you go. Shh. When they go, shh.
Yeah, look at having those installed.
Well, there's a perfect example, Dale, of how we have no agenda here.
I love it.
Especially when Robert shows up. Even if he's not on camera today, he always has a way of taking us off agenda, but that's okay. We're just about out of time here, but so everybody who's been joining us, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the show, type 10 in the comments below. Give us a 10. And if this is a replay for you, thanks for coming back and watching. And please type replay down in the comments below.
We just like to know the American Idol thing, right?
Oh yeah, there you go.
No, am I backwards there? There we go.
No, you were right, Kevin.
I
you were
was
right.
I'm bass backwards.
There you go. 10.
We got a 10 from RJ.
Woohoo!
10.
That's awesome. Okay, well, before we wrap up, thanks everybody for watching. But Dale Maxwell, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. If you are here in the U.S. for Memorial Day, make sure you take a few moments today and remember all of those who have sacrificed, made the ultimate sacrifice so that we could do what we're doing right here. And I hope you went and had some beers and some hot dogs and enjoyed your weekend. There's my final thought.
Awesome. Dale from Kickassery, thanks so much for joining. Kevin, Jack, any final thoughts for us today?
If you own a business or a part of an organization and you put on events, you should consider live streaming them. Think about all the effort that you put in to only impact the audience in the room, and then there's no recording of what you've done for a fraction of the price that you spend on all the banners and all the signage and renting the room. You could actually reach everybody in the world. Why wouldn't you do it?
Amen.
That's awesome. And that's Kevin Jack from WeStream. You can reach out to him, and if he can't do it, he'll send it over to us. Thanks, everybody, so much for watching, and thanks to my guests, Dale and Kevin. RJ Redden was in there earlier, and for everybody else who's still watching. I'll be doing a live show later today on the show page, the show Sarnia. 3 special guests here today. And by the way, I'll lead up to it. It is World No Tobacco Day today. So we're going to be talking about that as well and a few other good things. Thanks, everybody.
How many years for you, David?
It'll be 3 years in July. No smoking. Not one puff.
Congratulations.
That's right.
Good for you, man.
Thanks again, everybody. Take care until next time. Bye for now.